www.tarotbyanisha.com. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity in your personal lives or in your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. Taurians, quite an interesting month. We have a new moon, we have a lunar eclipse, we also have Saturn that is going direct this month. We begin the month around the 2nd, wherein we have a new moon that is there in your house of home. This is the place where you live, the place which you share with other people. It's a place which is of your emotional refuge, hopefully. We have a new moon that is happening here, and the new moon is there in Leo. And there seems to be, for some of you, either there's been a change of residence, or there seems to be either you have just finished changing cities and you've just moved. For some of you, you could literally be renovating. You could be just either you've just finished doing up your house, or you're expecting guests, or the guests have just gone. You could be during that phase as well. This is really a time wherein that even though the focus is really there on home and family, but Taurians, it's a time to be listening to your gut. Just listen to the inner you. What is the voice of wisdom that is telling you? It's a time to be developing a sense of inner security, and it's a time also for you to be sort of it's asking you to push your emotional boundaries. You know, what is it that makes you secure? How it is that is it having your own house, having an X money in the bank, or is it really having an emotional security that is there with your family that really gives you that kind of security? So this is a time all of that could be being evaluated. Try not to be too rigid, Taurians, because at times even we may see things, but they really may not be for what they really are. Try and not to sort of Taurians be too rigid this month. Try and sort of stay as much as flexible. Try and not form opinions that are sort of too hard to change, and try to be try and have an open mind, and especially because this has to do with your home. It has to do with the people with whom you share the space. It could be with your spouse, it could be about your children, it could be about estranged relationships within the family. And it's a time wherein, because there's new moon is there, the energy is there, which is sort of opening up a window for you to maybe look at another perspective. So try and sort of give a little leeway. Try and be a little brave, Taurians. Try not to be so hard on yourself, rather, and say, oh no, I get hurt every time and I can't go around trusting this person again. And try and be a little easy, and try and hear what the other person really wants to say to you. It's also a time of reorganization and heightened awareness of your roots, issues of intimacy that may have been in vulnerability. And it's a great time to be in touch with your own feelings, Taurians. We have Mars that is joining the Lord of Karma, that is Saturn, who's going direct in your house of joint finances, sexuality and intimacy. And Mars is just coming and galvanizing and Saturn, and Saturn has been retrograde, and now it's going direct around the mid month. And I've spoken about Saturn going direct in great detail in a separate video, which you can watch on my channel. Now over here, Saturn takes about 28 to 29 years to complete one circle, and he spends about 2.5 years in each house, ensuring that we have learned those lessons. Saturn transiting this house normally comes with a message that we do not live forever, and even though we know this at the back of our mind, this comes as a reminder as Saturn goes direct and Mars comes and sort of galvanizes this. But it's also a reminder that not a great idea to be holding on to grudges, Taurians, that it's as much as we would like to say that life is long and why should I be living in misery, but the thing is, because this is your home and your family and people with whom you share your place, your space with, because there's a lot of focus over there this month. And then again, it's not just with this particular aspect, with Saturn being there in your shared resources, it's not just about who's paying for what and doing what. it's also not about division of work. It's really about the emotional sharing. It's how much of it is that you're willing to share of yourself, and how much of it is that you're willing to sort of push your emotional boundary and go on the other side and really be there for this other person, and not just sort of keep sitting on your horse of I've got victimized, and I cannot be I cannot be handling this any more further, and I cannot be treated in a certain way. So it's really a time wherein that Saturn now is coming and saying, that try and let go of the whether it's a deep held notion of how always this relationship is going to be, how forever you're going to get treated in a bad way, or how forever your life is going to be in a certain situation. So you need to be getting rid of this. And with Sagittarius, I think, being over there, which is like constantly pushing you to evolve, to change, to expand and move ahead. Even though Saturn is all about it's about restriction and it's about limitation, with this time, with the Mars angle being over there, I think you are being really pushed to take an action, to transform, to change as to how it is that you feel and think about certain relationships, and also about your life condition. Don't sort of just look at it and say, oh, I have tried it so many times and it doesn't work for me. So try and look at that again. We have Venus that is coming in, joining Jupiter and Mercury, and this is happening in your house of love, relationships, children and creativity. A lot of focus is there, Taurans, and it's a beautiful aspect because in any case we have the expansive Jupiter that is sitting there and the chatty Mercury is there, and with Venus now coming along, sashing in over here, it's a time wherein that you'll just find that there is children are first of all a lot of they're a source of immense joy, or there's some kind of a satisfaction of having your children around you during this time, or you could just simply be bonding more around this time. And it's also you could be at a place and phase where you could be feeling quite attractive. You will be feeling that you're able to sort of attract all the attention to yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be from the opposite sex. It can be also be from your peers, people whom you work with, that people are generally quite attracted to you, and whether it is your persona or the way that you're working, or just the way that you're being. And it's a time wherein that you could be quite sought out during this time. It's a great time to be taking favors, seeking favors if there are some that you need to be. However, try and stay away from any kind of an office romance. Try not to get involved. That's never a good idea. But try and sort of if it is there outside work, then great. I think it will do quite well. But and there could be sort of a slight tinge of drama in it, but try and keep it out of your workplace. Around the 18th, we have a full moon that is there, and that's happening in your house of reputation, work, career and accolades. And full moons normally, because they're very emotional, and it's a time wherein that something is coming to a closure, it's coming to a fruition, it's coming to an end. And it can be that maybe it's a project that has taken a lot of your attention in the last couple of months, and it's coming to an end during this time. It can also be that you are sort of, your accomplishments are being spoken about at work and you're being encouraged, or maybe you're being sent off on a course that the company is sponsoring you. It's also a time wherein that you could be sitting and evaluating your own commitment to your long-term goals as far as your work is concerned. It's really a time where you're very conscious about how publicly you're seen, the kind of accolades that you're getting, how it is that and they are going to be accolades, but you're going to be more so conscious that, I've achieved this, I've reached here, and I have I'm receiving all this. So there could be a sense of a lot of self-pride as well. Try not to be a little arrogant around this time, Taurans, not too nice. And also try sort of watch your speech during this time so that you don't offend somebody in public. Try not to sort of get too carried away and just say something which you may just feel, it's all right, I can get away with it. Be a little careful over that. On the 23rd, we have Sun that is coming in, joining the rest of the planets, and what a party they're having. We have Venus, we have Jupiter, we have Mercury, and then we have Sun that is there in your house of creativity, love and romance. And with Sun being over there, it just simply focuses, a lot of focus is there on creativity. Maybe it's asking for something, it's not just giving you more inspiration, but it's maybe on a work that you've been doing. It's, you know, demanding more innovation out of you. It's asking you to do things more differently around it. And it's a time wherein you could be feeling quite inspired as well. I think a lot of you are going to be in that space where, you would want to do, maybe some of you would turn into entrepreneurs during this time, and you would say, you know, I want to do my own work, or I want to go my own way, and I want to see as to how it is that this pans out. So quite an interesting month, Taurans. Have a lovely one. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.